Does a world without suffering include Black people? Like many Black Americans, I spent the last few days grieving the loss and mistreatment of Black life. I was in my room, not really thinking, just digesting the thoughts of other Black folks and listening to music. That's when the song So Happy World from Persona 5 Royal started to play on Spotify. Around 20 seconds into the song, I started to feel this sinking feeling in my stomach that just wouldn't go away. So for context, the song So Happy World comes from a part in the game where reality is significantly altered. It's a world without suffering that was enacted by a Dr. Maruki, a cognitive researcher and a school counselor. In this world, all of the terrible things that have happened to people essentially never happen, allowing the people of humanity to live their lives unabated by trauma, hardship, and suffering. People are happy in this reality. Their negative emotions don't dominate how they navigate through life. You see it happen to your friends, your found family. Plus, Maruki is a genuinely good dude who just wants to help people. And TLDR, you have to defeat him because this false reality strips people of their resolve. No hardships lead to people having nothing to fight for, and fighting is part of the journey. You know, the suffering is a part of humanity's school of thought. Maruki's not the first villain to have this idea of ending suffering to save humanity, but he's probably the nicest. You know, you have characters like Artorias from Tales of Berseria, Madara Uchiha with like the Infinite Tsukiyomi, Mirum from Hunter x Hunter, and you know, the list goes on and on and on. We can even get more extreme cases of like omnicidal characters like the End Singer from Final Fantasy XIV. Me personally, I've never really completely agreed with this idea that a world without suffering is a bad thing because, as you can see, I'm Black. And the way that I see that idea, the way I interpret it, it means that there is a world where slavery didn't happen. A world where millions of people that look just like me weren't abused, raped, kidnapped, killed, starved, eaten, extorted, disenfranchised, denied jobs, housing, resources, and so much more awful shit that their descendants are still carrying the pain of their ancestors with them to this very day. At the very least, it'd be a world without the modern day slaughter of Black people. Hell, there may even be a chance at us having justice on our side for once, and we don't have to fight tooth and nail for it to even be considered. A world where kids aren't getting gunned down just for being Black. A world where Black people can go into a grocery store and not get gunned down all for some sick live stream. A world where a simple pullover doesn't become a life or death situation. A world where hundreds of thousands of Black people aren't in the prison system for weed charges. Meanwhile, corporate America goes to hell and makes millions of dollars selling the exact same thing. Maybe the country that we've been forced to be in would actually give a damn about us, and the world at large would start to see us as humans worthy of even having such a dream. If that's the case in this alternate world that Dr. Maruki has created, then it's so difficult to want to go against that reality and have it framed as a bad thing, with the reason being that suffering gives humanity purpose. So is it right to fight against that reality for the sake of Black people? Because Black people shouldn't have to suffer like that in the first place. This is where these stories always lose me, because they focus on the characters who are affected by the change, but not the world at large. I wonder if the authors even consider Black people when making these stories. Probably not. And trust me, I get it. The idea of a world without suffering is something rooted in fiction, because the reality of the world is that it's packed with some really awful crap, and we just have to keep going. So I think that sinking feeling in my stomach was coming from a place of futility, like coming to the realization that there isn't a way for Black people to be free of suffering in this world that we live in right now. And any chance at that would just be associated with like a dream, just something that impossible. At least until liberation is on everyone's mind.